run across a woman who awakened instantly. And not just in a small little way, but in a super big way. You see, she was kind of a party girl. She would spend her weekends, at least one night on the weekend, getting totally plastered with her friends, and that's what she did. And one day she was doing this several years ago, and somebody popped a date rape drug into her drink. Now, she knew something was going on, and rather than lose consciousness, she found the strength of will to say, I'm going to stay awake through this. And she made her way home, which was over 2 hours by train. Okay. After this experience, everything is different. All the walls broke down, and she was totally connected to spirit in a big way. And I mean that like suddenly everybody is there talking to her. She was talking about things like I could just see my whole timeline, my entire future laid out in front of me. I can see all my past and my past lives. I can have all these entities that were talking to me. She said it was just crazy making. And in fact, that's how her family treated her. They thought, oh my God, this was a traumatic experience with this drug. And so they gave her a little leeway, but then it didn't stop. She kept talking about her new perception. And as a result, she was starting to get worried that they were going to commit her. So she had to like tone it back and say, okay, how do I pretend that I'm solid here? But she said mostly she would just stay at home and sit on the sofa. Many of us move into our awakening slowly. And we do that for good reason. Because if you have reality stripped away from you and you're suddenly seeing things and hearing things that nobody else does, and it's in a big way, and nothing else kind of matters because all that old stuff is kind of meaningless when you're at that level of awakening and you look back at things, then how do you function? And especially if you're in a family situation or in a work situation, how do you function? So for most of us, the awakening goes pretty gradually in smaller steps. Now, here's an example of a woman who just went from 0 to 60, just taken right off just like that. And it created a lot of havoc. And not only that, it created not knowing. There was no sense making of this because 3D was gone. 3D reality was gone. How do you make sense of something when you have no words and nobody to talk to about it because they think you're crazy if you do talk to them about it? Imagine an arbitrary scale of 100 steps, and each step is twice as far. So if this is the first step, that's the second step, and then the third step's out here, and then the fourth step's across the room, and you know what I'm saying. Pretty soon you take that fifth step and you're hundreds of yards away, and you take that sixth step and you're miles away, and you take that next step and you're all of a sudden out of the atmosphere, and you take that next step and all of a sudden you're outside the planet. And you still have only taken a few steps. You're still taking 10, 15 steps out of the 100. What I'm trying to share with you is there are steps you can take, things you can do to really make sense of this and get the most out of it. So if you're only moving at a slower pace, which is recommended actually, then you can up that pace by bringing in the teachings that then help you to use this. And I'm not trying to give you dogma or religion. No, none of that. I'm just trying to give you some how-tos. We're in a new reality. And this is how you navigate that stuff. I'm putting most of what I know in my books. My Ascension Handbook 1 and 2 are right here. Okay. And 3 is going to come out at the end of the summer. This fall it'll be there. So it'll be a lot of explanation on how to use this stuff. And of course these videos are here for. So the library is being built. Even though I keep my little old me goes, no, I don't get enough subscribers. Nobody's hearing this. And Spirit just laughs at me and says, Peter, not everybody's going to pop in a big way right away. A lot of them are still tight and scared. A lot of you watching this know what I'm saying. Okay, so you're still at those lower levels of waking, 2, 4, 5, 6, and maybe 8 or 10, and still you're getting these experiences, but you don't have any place to do it or understand what it means. I love it. I do so many sessions with people, and they come to me and say, I had this experience. Cool, you're in the reality of talking to entities. And they go, well, they showed me a blue orb. I had this blue orb. What does it mean? And I'm like, it doesn't mean anything, because as soon as you take it and try to say what it means, you're pulling it back into 3D and you're missing it. You don't think outside the box by thinking. You think outside the box by stepping outside the box and then shutting the thinking part up and go, ooh, what do I have here? I have a blue orb. So you see, what many of us do is we try to pull our 5D experience into 3D so it could make sense. Of course, that slows us down and keeps us at these lower levels, right? Now, you don't have to go all the way at once like these people I'm talking about. But when you get these 5D experiences and you want more of them and you want to expand in that direction, what you do is not force it into 3D. You take the 3D and bring it into 5. So I have this blue orb. What does it mean? It means you have a blue orb. Cool. It means you've been given a gift that is not understandable at this moment using 3D. So why don't you let go of that and focus on the gift and see what evolves in 5D? Maybe it's a talisman. Maybe it's a key. Maybe it's an opening. I get this from so many people. Oh, I've had these dreams or these entities show up and I see these visions and these geometric patterns. What does it mean? What does it mean? Stop asking what it means, because it means you have been given a gift. Now receive it on the terms of the gift. I know this doesn't make any sense, but hey, you can't put 5D into 3D. You got to take your 3D and move it into 5D. This beautiful person said, okay, I've got this conversation with these higher entities, and she's been picking up all kinds of dimensional beings. It's really fun. She was telling me, I didn't even know these beings existed. I was watching your video on Sekhmet and I just tried connecting to her energy, and now I talk to her and I'm like, right on, that was useful. Okay, so this is kind of how it's going to be for you. It's just right on and useful. You just let yourself come to it. All right. And it's you I'm connected to, and it's you who have these abilities and skills, and they are going to unfold. And I hope what I've talked about today will help you. Remember, it's a 100-step journey, and each step's twice as far. And when you take that step, that when you're on Pluto and you launch off to Alpha Centauri, that's pretty far down the way, but it's still not even halfway there. Because then you'll launch from Alpha Centauri to the whole galaxy. And then you'll take another step from the galaxy to the multiverse. And then from the multiverse to all the dimensions. Yeah, it's just bigger and bigger and bigger till you finally get to your oneness with God. It's a beautiful journey. Why rush it?